Say, Joe, you like stepfathers?
You know what, Tom? Do. But unfortunately, the Stepfather 2 does not feature a stepfather. Now, this movie, and correct me if I'm wrong, Terry O'Quinn in The Stepfather was stabbed repeatedly. Pretty big fucking knife, right?
I mean, he got one good one in the lung for sure.
Then took like a tumble down some stairs and shit.
hmm I mean, he
Uh,
was dead.
that was fatal. Yeah, he was dead. But Stepfather 2, let's, forget about that. It wasn't that deep, I guess. And, the ambulance with those response times that they have there in the Pacific Northwest area, they're pretty quick and they know their job. So, well, shit, they saved him. They saved him, Tom. And now, Stepfather, he's in an asylum for the criminally insane. He's in Arkham Asylum.
For the mentally retarded.
Uh, for the mentally retarded psychologists. Yes, because the doctor is a dumb motherfucker. Idiot. I mean, just like he comes off as just dumb as shit. So I don't know if this is an act, or if this guy's really dumb, but he plays this idiot part pretty well. And, well, he fucks up. And the old stepfather, tells him
it
what he
would
wants.
it would be like the mentality of a hippie to where it'd be like, oh man, just let him go. He's cool, man. We'll figure it out. But yeah.
Step Stepfather kills the guard, gets the guard's clothes, and like hightails it out of the asylum.
Because the stepfather, he's been in the wood shop in this prison making a fucking another birdhouse, but the little man he put in the birdhouse he made a fucking shiv out of. So he brings this fucking deadly weapon of a birdhouse to see the psychiatrist, spooks him with it when he knocks it off the table. Just like, oh no, I was just making stab you with the little man, motherfucker.
Well, he's also reality shows, or no, game shows and infomercials. So he decides, you know what? I want to move to this perfect community and fuck it, I'll just be a bachelor for a while
Well,
and
he
I
sees this after he what is it? The prison guard. Okay, before that, this motherfucker, the stepfather's been collecting his pubic hair that's been falling out in his jail cell. So he puts that shit in his pocket, bludgeons the fuck out of the what's it called? The prison guard after he murders the psychiatrist. Conveniently, the stepfather and the prison guard wear the same clothes or same size clothes. So he strips that motherfucker naked, including the underwear, puts it on, fucking whacks off into his hand, stipples a little bit on his cleanly shaven lip, and then glues his pubic hair to it, and then walks out of the prison like, oh, nothing's happening. It's really easy to get out of a prison. You don't have to show clearance or anything to get from section to section. And then he fucking murders a guy at a train station and takes his car. And luckily for the stepfather, this guy had like $2,000 in his wallet. So $2,000 is just enough money to get a great hotel room with room service and lease a fucking full size house.
well, I don't know what houses leased for or what deposits were in 83, 84, whenever this came out, but a lot less than it is now. So who knows, maybe he used his last dollar to do that. But anyway, he's trusted because he's passing himself off as a doctor, saying, hey, I practice family psychology. Only for women, though. Women should come to my house and talk about their problems. One thing you don't want women to do is gather together because women hate each other. And all they're going to do is start, hen pecking. And that's exactly what they do with these sessions he sets up. Turns out we got a couple of familiar faces. One of them is old Blue Eyes from They Live, and I don't know, some other movies, He Man and shit. What the hell's that lady's name? Who cares?
Meg Foster.
Oh, Meg Ryan is, yeah, in this. And then there's also old Stretch
Caroline Williams.
Caroline Williams from Texas. And
Who sounds like she is an LA native.
yeah, she's playing a male person, not a male man. She's a male person. Anyway, they're all at each other's throats in his sessions. But you know what?
But nobody was at each other's throat more than that old lady's husband when she was talking about giving Hummers.
Given a Hummer, yeah.
Hey, Joe, I think a Hummer is a dated term, not only a dated term, but I think it's a dated sex act. I'm not sure that I've actually got an actual Hummer before. Is this something that you have partaken in, Joe?
It was the thing in the '80s. Women. It's kind of fallen out. I guess it's a lost art. You know, but I guess it wasn't passed down from mothers to their daughters because yeah, it doesn't really happen a whole lot. No, there's not a whole lot of humming.
Well, explain to the fine, fine people out there what a Hummer is.
But this elderly lady during this psychology session, this group psychology session, is explaining is like, the thing is, my husband always wants me to hum, and like his favorite song or whatever song he wants. I got to learn that song and I got to hum it. And the whole uh, stepfather, okay, well, what's wrong with that? That sounds fine. And she said, well, he wants me to hum it while I'm kissing him. Huh? What's wrong with that? Well, kissing, him down there. And the stepfather's kind of shocked. This is like, he doesn't, the other women, they're kind of laughing, at the whole thing. So, yeah, so a Hummer. So she's humming while sucking some dick.
Lori, before this fine, fine Hispanic Heritage Month ends, if you can give me a Hummer to the tune of Macarena, I would appreciate it.
Or Beady Beady Bomb Bomb. One in honor of also. But yeah, so that, and he decides, hey, Meg Foster's a single mom and she hidden, and that's what the stepfather wants. He wants family. He wants that ideal, nuclear family. And turns out Meg Foster is not divorced. She's still married.
Fucking bitch.
He's seeing her for a while, starting to get involved, but the old husband comes back, and he decides, hey, I'm back, motherfuckers. I'm back. And after all this work that the stepfather has done, teaching old Jonathan Brandis how to throw a baseball. Do you know about throwing a baseball straight arm, Tom, as opposed to
Joe, I took a season of baseball when I was a child. So I have a slight familiarity with how to throw a baseball and not look like a fucking mo.
all right, okay. Yeah. So well anyway, he kills the rival, the husband guy. And well, you always got a little bit of cleanup to do. The son of Meg Foster. He's not the stepson because they're not married. The stepson is, well, I mean, maybe dad left again because of how shitty I was. And the
And I
stepfather,
forget this kid's name, but he
Jonathan,
was in a lot of shit. What's his name?
Jonathan Brandis.
Okay, yeah. And he was in a lot of shit. And
Mhm.
I always thought he died of suicide like very young.
I always
It,
thought he got, but maybe he was in a movie or a show where he played somebody with AIDS or Down syndrome. One of the two. I don't know, but very convincing, I guess.
he got it from a Hummer.
Hmm.
He had a cut in his mouth, you see.
Oh,
I think it was a Queen song he was rocking out to at the time. Hitting them with the Flash Gordon soundtrack.
right. Um, yeah. So the thing is, what do you do when a kid's upset? Well, gosh darn it, you make the biggest sandwich you can make. Remember the old Blondie comic strip, Tom? Remember those sandwiches that Dagwood used to make? They were just like fucking piled high. That's what you do to cheer up. Make
So
the
you go with that and not Scooby Doo?
Yeah, because did they make sandwiches? Thought they were just with the Scooby snacks or whatever. Anyway, things are getting serious. He proposes to old Meg Foster. Yeah, Meg Foster. And well, Caroline Williams getting a little suspicious of the stepfather. It's like maybe this guy is not what he says he is because all he gets is junk mail. That's very suspicious, right, Tom?
Not in this day and age.
All I get is junk mail and bills. So, maybe in 80 something people were still getting letters, correspondence. I don't know, but it sets her little spider sense a buzz. Uh, Meanwhile, old Meg Foster, she wants to get it on.
Well, you're saying she wants to do some of that fucking?
Yeah, she's got some humming that she wants to do. She's learned a few songs from the 80s, you know. And the thing is, old stepfather, old Terry O'Quinn, he's not comfortable with that, Tom. That's not, it's improper to have premarital sex. And he rejects her. Well, this causes a bit of a problem, and oh, what's her name still like investigating more and more, and she's becoming quite a pain in the ass, and she figures out, hey, you got a fake identity. You better go let her know, or I'm
How
gonna.
did she come to the conclusion
How
that he
did
wasn't who he said he was?
she? First of all, she went into his house without knocking, just went in, looked through some notebook that he had, and what the fuck else was it? It wasn't the humming that comes later.
It was a letter that he received in the mail for his high school reunion.
Full reunion, yes. Yeah. How did she put that together? I don't know. That didn't make any sense to me. That seems stupid as shit.
Because he wasn't a black guy, Joe. She was talking to him about being on the basketball team and the years not lining up. And
Mm,
then she shows him the photo from the basketball team, and it was all black dudes.
yeah.
So that was when he got fingered.
Uh, she gives him a chance. Yeah, go tell her you're not who you say you are and break it off with her, or I'm going to let her. You got till 5 o'clock to do this. And fuck it, he kills her. He goes in the house and strangles her.
No, first he goes and has sex with Meg Foster.
Yeah, that's right. The way to solve this is, give this chick what she's been asking for, and that'll like put her to sleep for a few hours.
And she sees the scar on his chest.
Yeah,
And she says, "Oh, is that why you haven't wanted to stick it in me? You scared from the scar?" And
hey,
she starts kissing it and then gets prosthetic makeup all over her nose.
I want to tell her that he was killed in the last movie. Would throw anybody off. Oh, you've been dead before. She probably wouldn't want to get married then, but she's cool with it. You know, hey, you just laid some pipe on me. That's cool. And he said, "Hey, you know what? I'm gonna go get some wine. I'll be right back." And he goes to Caroline Williams' house to get some wine, but not before killing her. And he strangles her, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
with
So
a jizz rag,
strangles
and
her.
then steals the last bottle of wine she got, and it was a case that
Her
her
wine,
parents sent her that they
right?
were drinking earlier in the movie.
Meg Foster. Yeah. So things are good now. He sets it up to where it looks like Caroline Williams had killed herself. And, hey, what a shock. And it's like, well, yeah, she was all fucked up. What can I say? Kind of
Well, I
weird
mean, before that, he fucking skips fences, hops fences like a fucking 8-year-old, whistling all the way.
races the whole time. Yeah. And old Jonathan Brandis, hey, what song is that? I would like to learn how to sing that song, and starts to whistle it. He can't. I can't whistle, so I'm not going to make fun of him for that. I can't fucking whistle either, Jonathan Brandis. But anyway, this is gonna come back on old stepfather. Just planting some clues for somebody to stumble on. And it's wedding day. He's introduced
But
to
you forgot to say when he was hopping fences, he came into the yard of old blind Melon Chitlin.
just about to say he's introduced to old blind Melon Chitlin, who is Meg Foster's dad. He's a blind guy,
It's
and
his, I don't think it's her dad. I think it's just a neighbor.
really, I thought it was her dad. But he said, "Yeah, I think I heard somebody whistle."
Oh, she always has a lot of dudes running out.
Yeah,
He's a fucking whore, but none of them ever fucking whistled through my backyard before.
seemed kind of disappointed when leaving before, but this guy was whistling. Uh, Wedding day, and that's it. They're about to get hitched, and well, what happens? Old Jonathan Brandis, that fuck. He starts that. Meg Foster looks over and says, "Oh, wait a minute. This wine that's here, that was Caroline Williams' wine." She puts two and two together, confronts him about it. He goes crazy like he did in the last. Oh, and starts to beat her up. Goes and throws Jonathan Brandis in a closet, and goes back to beat her up some more. But Jonathan Brandis gets a hammer, hammers his way out of that closet, and then kills the stepfather. Throws the back claw part of the hammer right in his chest. And what a knife couldn't do, this claw part of the hammer does. Kills the stepfather. All right. It's not great, you know. Uh I still like Terry O'Quinn. I think he's really trying, and his character is funny as shit. There is some funny stuff, but it's not. It's I don't know, man. Uh, it's pretty weak. I don't like movies where they just show somebody swinging and then they'll show a blood splatter against the wall. So if you're looking for any kind of special effects or kills, which were this is the time of the slasher movie and all that, you don't get any of that. Uh, I would rather watch this than a lot of those slashers, though, as it's got some laughs, whether they're unintentional or not. But yeah, it's just not great. You know,
Yeah, I didn't care for it. The best part of this movie is at the beginning when they showed the best parts of the last movie, where they showed that lady getting hit with the fucking phone, and then the crime scene photo from the when he was coming down the stairs in the first movie, and you seen the old wife dead with all the blood around. I was just like, oh, look at them using that again, because it was the best part in the last movie. Then it all just kind of went downhill because it was nonsensical bullshit. Oh, how did he convince these ladies that he is running this psychiatry practice out of his fucking house? How did he get their trust? Where did he get all this money from to do this? And it's just then not nothing really happens. It's just a bunch of who gives a good goddamn.
And like I said, he's not a stepfather in this movie.
No.
It's
He's
better.
a mom's boyfriend.
Yeah, it's dynamic in the first movie is better when you have the kid, trying to figure out what, hey, something's not right here. And that would have played better had they just like, hey, 6 months later and he's married, and then you would have had Jonathan Brandis trying to figure out what the fuck. It would have been the same movie, but it would have been better, I think.
I don't know if better's the word, but it would have been not so inept because at least he was actually a stepfather. Yeah. I still think Toby Huss should have played the stepfather. Probably would have made it a little better, but I mean, this guy isn't bad. I just don't give a fuck.
Well, I don't
He,
think he's one, which I've never seen. So
he is not in the next one. I have seen the next one, and I have seen this one before.
yeah, I'd seen this one.
But yeah, he is not in the next one, and the next one centers around a greenhouse.
I liked this one a lot more the first time I saw it. Now, okay. Uh,
Yeah, it's gonna suck if that fucking PG-13 remake's the best one.
oh, I
Fuck.
still like the first one. I still think the first one's all right. Good enough to keep my collection. Nope, I've got a $6 price tag on it. So
I mean, why would you watch it again unless you're just I just love his acting so much. I
or
mean, it's serviceable, it's fine.
yeah, or if you're into that girl who is a little girl at the well, I guess she wasn't a little girl to do a nude scene, but she's playing a little girl. Uh, I
That's weird.
but some people are all about her, or were at one time. I don't know.
I don't even know who the fuck she is.
Remember her name either, but I think she was in a Halloween or one of the, whatever, or a Jason or a Freddy or something.
Or a pumpkin head.